Now, you know what is a good idea, but also like the worst kept secret in video games? Respawn is doing a Jedi Fallen Order sequel, and everyone liked that as a Fallout meme there. Um, I loved Fallen Order, but I also loved what it represented because I remember when Fallen Order was just about to come out, the head of EA was just like, well, according to our studies, people really love online multiplayer games. They don't really care for single player games anymore.
You're stupid.
Fallen Order just comes out and destroys sales, and he just goes, oh, crap. And then I felt like EA tried to sabotage Fallen Order by not marketing it as much or showing crappy footage, because I almost didn't hop on the Fallen Order bandwagon when it first came out because all the gameplay looked so generic. It looked because they kept showing that little tiny piece of the much broader game when Cal and BD1 take over the AT-AT, and you're just like, okay, we've seen this before, this is uninteresting. And you realize that's like 2% of the entire game. And this is a much bigger thing. So I loved what Fallen Order represented, of going big old middle finger to those bigwigs that are just like, oh no, people love microtransactions in multiplayer games. No, give me my Fallen Order, my Uncharted 4, give me my God of War, give me my single player stories. This is the biggest no-brainer. It's the only bankable Star Wars franchise in video gaming right now, because as some other news kind of came out today, this more or less kind of puts a nail in the coffin for a Battlefront 3 from EA and DICE, which is both a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing because other studios can do first-person shooters, as we'll talk about here in a little bit, but it's a bad thing because Battlefront 2 had the greatest turnaround of any game I've ever seen. Honestly, it's one of my favorite games of all time. It's one of the best Star Wars games ever, of where it started to where it is now. And they pulled support for it at the worst possible time. They're like, oh crap, Battlefield is doing terribly. Let's pull off all support for Battlefront and do Battlefield 2042, which has been a colossal mistake. And I'm going, just, it's not too late. Abandon your Battlefield, come back to it in a few years later, and go back to the thing that's actually making you money right now, which is Battlefront 2. But no, they just dropped that, and DICE is not making any more Battlefronts at all, which I think is stupid. But thankfully, Respawn, the people that did do Fallen Order and are doing Fallen Order 2, are doing a first-person shooter, which I'm going, cool. And also, I must have missed it, but Respawn made one of Josh's all-time favorite games with Apex Legends.
Yeah.
So
Respawn's a pretty good company, man. Like, and not just Apex Legends. I mean, in my opinion, is the best battle royale out there, but they're kind of lately that opinion has changed a little bit, but that's more because of content drops or lack thereof. But that's an issue you're going to run into with battle royales. Unfortunately, you're always having to keep it fresh.
Respawn did what I consider probably one of the more underrated games of this generation of both Titanfalls. I really like Titanfall 2. I really like Titanfall 2 a lot more than I thought I would.
Yeah, well, and the entire Apex Legends game is based in that lore, so we're constantly pulling from that. So it's pretty, and they've done so much revolutionary stuff game design wise, like having a ping system. It started with them in the battle royale. Like no other games had that at that particular moment. It's just like stuff like that. So I'm excited to see what kind of FPS they bring. I'm hesitant for them to just do another Battlefront, because I feel like you do need something fresh. You need something new, because Battlefront, while cool, is still not an FPS, and it's the reason I always struggled with it, because it is kind of clunky at times, and I do wish it had a more fluid motion, which is something you'll get from Respawn. Yeah, and as far as I'm very interested to see what kind of strategy game comes out of this as well. I have heard nothing about anything else on this.
Yeah, they just announced it. So Fallen Order 2, I'd imagine, is like a 2024 release, is my guess. And since they just announced the strategy game and the first-person shooter, that won't be for a while yet, like 2025, 2026 probably. But I also thought it was interesting that for the first-person shooter, they're bringing on one of the like producers or supervisors from the original two Battlefront games, which I'm going,
Nice.
oh no no, don't give me that kind of hope. Now I saw somebody floating the idea around. I don't know if they go this route or not, but what if it's a game similar to a Republic Commando? Of you've got like a group of people on like a SWAT mission. I'm going,
Dude.
dude.
Dude, don't bring up Republic Commando for me, man. That game has so many awesome memories. Like being like a commando clone trooper was just one of the coolest things ever, and I can only imagine, especially now that they've expanded the canon so much, what all you could do with that. Like, dude, I just being like a bounty hunter head squad or something like that, or like being able to do first person squad combat, do like a class based system, but like you have like 3 or 4 different storylines that you can run through with those classes. So like you have like bounty hunters, and you've got like a different classes of bounty. It's dude, it'd be like the old Republic MMO all over again, and I'd be so down.
Just resurrect 1313 and reshape it as a first person shooter. Just oh, we're all still sad about 1313. Curse you, Disney. But this is the first time that I felt hope in a while for the future of Star Wars gaming, because it felt like EA was just had a chokehold on it, and they're like, we pump out Star Wars games too. We're going, guys, you've done 3 games in 6 years. How is that fair? That's not cool,
Yeah.
guys. Back in, what was it, 2005? We had like 5 or 6 Star Wars games just in 2005 alone. You got Republic Commando, the greatest game ever made with Lego Star Wars. Revenge of the Sith, a banger of a game right there. Battlefront 2, all of those were 2005 alone. And yet EA has just been like, nah, you'll get a game every couple years, and then you don't even know if it's good. Like the first Battlefront
Yeah.
is fine, but definitely incomplete. The second one started off as a broken loot mess, and then Rogue Squadron exists, which is sad that
Yeah.
Rogue Squadrons is probably the most like polished and well-made game that no one gives a crap about, because
Well, it's the skill ceiling is so high on it, unfortunately. Like it's
and also people, I don't think the general gaming population, there's obviously some people that do, but I think the general gaming population doesn't care about flight simulators. Like they're like, it's super accurate. It is an accurate flight simulator. It felt just like X-Wing versus TIE Fighter from when I played it as a kid. Did it hold my attention for more than 2 hours? No, not really. That's
yeah.
which sucks, but I'm excited for the future now.
Well, and like all of those other games, that's not to even speak about like Knights of the Old Republic, both the game and the MMO,
The
or
remake
Jedi
coming.
Academy. Yeah, the remake that's coming, Jedi Academy, which that was I think it was PC only, but I
No, that's available on the PlayStation Store.
well, it is now,
Oh,
but
okay,
not when
okay,
it
yeah.
came out. Which seriously, I have so many great memories with that game, and I'm just imagining being able to do a Jedi Academy style game these days, where every single part of your character, down from your lightsaber color to your boots, is all customizable, and you get thrown in with ability. I think with Fallen Order, it has opened the door finally, especially with a new studio picking stuff up, open the door to like different kinds of Star Wars content, not just like, well, you get your class-based shooter or your single player mode. So have fun. So I'm just excited.